My parents said real adults don't need inheritance and signed the house over to my brother. He told me to leave the keys and go. I waited until closing day, then sold every appliance, tore out the smart home system I paid for, and watched him cry on the lawn. I bought this place when I was 26. My parents couldn't afford their own home, so I let them move in with me 3 years ago when they got evicted. They paid $400 a month. I covered everything else. Mortgage, taxes, repairs, upgrades. I installed a smart home system, new appliances, solar panels. Spent over $40,000 on renovations. Last month my mom called me at work. She said they wanted to talk. I drove over thinking someone died. My dad sat at the kitchen table I bought. He said, "We've been talking to your brother. He needs stability. We're signing the house over to him." I laughed. I actually laughed because it sounded insane. "What are you talking about? This is my house." My mom jumped in. "Technically we've been living here. We have tenant rights. And real adults don't hoard property. Your brother has 2 kids. You're single. You don't need this much space." My brother walked in from the garage like he'd been waiting for his cue. He had papers in his hand. Legal documents. "Look, I already talked to a lawyer. They can claim residency and transfer ownership through adverse possession. It's complicated, but basically, you should just let this go. Don't make it ugly." I looked at my parents. My mom wouldn't meet my eyes. "You're stealing my house." My dad shrugged. "We're helping family. That's what you're supposed to do. Stop being selfish." I called my own lawyer that night. Turns out they were full of it. Adverse possession takes years and doesn't work when you have permission to be there. But my parents kept pushing. They brought my brother's kids over, let them pick out bedrooms. My brother started talking about knocking down walls. Then my mom dropped the real bomb. "If you fight this, we'll never speak to you again. Your nieces won't know their aunt. Is that what you want?" I moved out. I stayed with a friend and told them fine, keep the house. I watched my brother puff up like he'd won something. But here's the thing. Everything valuable in that house belonged to me. The appliances, the smart system, the solar panel setup. All purchased and installed under my name. Closing was set for a Friday. My brother planned this whole celebration thing. He posted on social media about his new chapter and family coming together. Thursday night I hired a crew. We worked until 4 a.m. We removed the refrigerator, the dishwasher, the stove, the washer and dryer. We pulled out every smart light, every camera, every sensor. We disconnected the solar panels. We took the ceiling fans. We even removed the garage door opener I'd installed. I left the house with beige walls and scratched floors. I took my patio furniture, my grill, my tools from the shed. My brother showed up Friday morning with his family and a moving truck. He called me screaming. "What did you do? There's nothing here. The kitchen doesn't even work. Those were my appliances. I bought them. Check the receipts. You can't just take everything." "Actually, I can. They're mine. You wanted the house, you got the house. Enjoy." My mom called next. "How could you do this to your brother? To those babies? You mean how could I not give him $40,000 worth of free stuff on top of the house you tried to steal?" My brother threatened to sue. His lawyer told him the same thing mine told me. The appliances were mine. The smart system was registered to my account. The solar panels were leased under my name. He had no claim. I drove by last week. He had to buy everything used. The house looks sad. His wife keeps posting passive-aggressive things about family betrayal and bitter people. My parents won't talk to me. My brother sends me messages calling me petty and cruel. His kids don't have the playroom he promised them because he had to spend all his money replacing what I took. Some of my friends think I went too far. They say I should have been the bigger person. But I paid for that house. I let my parents live there cheap. I never asked for anything back. Was I wrong to strip the place clean before I left? So the lawsuit threat was garbage like I expected. My brother's lawyer sent a demand letter asking for $35,000 to replace everything I took. My lawyer sent back copies of every receipt with my name on it. That shut them up fast. Turns out you can't sue someone for taking their own property. But the real mess started when my aunt got involved. She called me 2 weeks ago absolutely screaming. Apparently my brother told everyone I stole appliances that belonged to the house. He's been playing victim to anyone who'll listen. "You left those children without a working kitchen. What's wrong with you? I left them with a house they didn't pay for. Your parents gave you everything growing up. This is how you repay them?" I hung up. She called back 6 times. The family group chat I forgot to leave has been insane. My cousins are split. Half think I'm justified, half think I'm petty. My brother keeps posting sob stories about how hard it is to afford basic appliances with 2 kids. His wife posted their GoFundMe. They're asking for $25,000 to make the house livable. It's raised $340. Mostly from my mom's church friends who don't know the real story. My brother showed up at my work last Monday. Security almost removed him. He cornered me in the parking lot. "Just give me the solar panels back. I can't afford the electric bill. You should have thought about that before you tried to take my house." Mom and Dad are devastated. They're not eating. They're not sleeping. They're living rent-free in a house you stole. They'll survive. He got in my face. "You're going to regret this." Family doesn't forget. A coworker filmed the whole thing from their car. My brother doesn't know that yet. The worst part is my parents are doubling down. My dad left me a voicemail saying I'm no longer welcome at holidays. My mom mailed back every birthday card I ever sent her with return to sender written on them. Real mature stuff. My brother's wife tried a different approach. She messaged me on social media with pictures of the kids looking sad in their empty house. She said they're struggling, they can't afford furniture and appliances, and would I consider a payment plan to sell the stuff back. I blocked her. Then my mom's sister called. The reasonable aunt. She actually listened when I explained what happened. She was horrified. Turns out my parents told everyone I abandoned the house and my brother graciously took over the payments to keep it from foreclosure. Complete lies. She's trying to mediate but my parents won't admit they lied. My brother keeps insisting he was helping save the family home and I'm rewriting history. Yesterday I got a call from code enforcement. Someone reported my old house for having non-functional utilities. The inspector went out there. Everything's up to code because the house itself is fine. It just doesn't have appliances. That's not a code violation. My brother had to take the day off work to meet the inspector. He called me after, absolutely raging. This is harassment. You're trying to sabotage me. I didn't call code enforcement. Maybe you should check your own paranoia. The housing market in my area is brutal right now. My brother can't refinance because his credit is shot from overspending on his truck and his wife's shopping habits. They're stuck with the property taxes I used to pay. 3 months in and they're already behind. Some mutual friends asked me to coffee last week. They wanted to know my side. I showed them everything. The mortgage documents, the renovation receipts, the texts from my mom threatening to cut me off if I didn't do the right thing. They were stunned. One of them said, "Your family is insane. You know that, right?" Yeah. I'm starting to get that. My brother's GoFundMe is still sitting at $340. His wife keeps sharing it but people are asking questions now. Why would they need money for appliances in a house they own outright? Why can't they get a loan? The comments are turning. I'm not giving them anything. Not a refrigerator, not a light bulb, nothing. They wanted the house so badly they were willing to destroy our relationship over it. Now they're finding out what that actually costs. My brother missed his first property tax payment. I found out because the county sends notifications to previous owners for 6 months after a transfer. The late notice came to my apartment. $3,200 due immediately or they start the lien process. I took a picture and sent it to him with no message. He left me on read. 2 days later my mom called from a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer. You need to help him. He can't lose this house. That's not my problem anymore. You're being vindictive. This is about those babies, not your brother. Those babies are living in a house no one paid for. He should be grateful. She started crying. The ugly kind where you can barely understand what they're saying. Something about how she raised me better than this, how I'm punishing children for adult problems, how the family is falling apart. I hung up. She called back from another number. I blocked that one too. The next week my brother's wife made a new social media account just to message me. Her main account is still blocked. She said they're drowning. The electric bill without solar is $450 a month. They can't afford it plus the mortgage insurance and property taxes I used to cover. She asked if we could work out a deal where they pay me back over time for the appliances. I didn't respond. She posted a long rant on her page about toxic family members who abandon children. The comments were mixed. Some people agreed with her. Others pointed out that if they can't afford basic utilities, maybe they shouldn't have taken a house they couldn't maintain. Someone I went to high school with sent me screenshots. The post is gone now but the damage was done. People started asking questions publicly. How did they get the house if they can't afford it? Why does the family member owe them appliances? My brother's wife deleted the whole post and locked her account. Last week I ran into my dad at the grocery store. Pure chance. We made eye contact across the produce section. He looked terrible. Older. He walked over and I thought maybe this was it, maybe he'd finally apologize. You should be ashamed of yourself. That's all he said. Then he left his card and walked out. I stood there holding a bag of apples feeling like I was the crazy one. Like I was the villain in this story for not funding my brother's life after he tried to steal from me. My reasonable aunt called again. She talked to my brother. He admitted they're 3 months behind on everything. The utilities, the property taxes, the homeowner's insurance. He took a loan from one of my mom's church friends to cover basics. He's working overtime but it's not enough. She asked if I'd consider selling them the appliances at a discount. Like a peace offering. I said no. She sighed like she expected that but had to try. Then she told me something that made my stomach drop. My parents took out a personal loan to help my brother cover the property taxes. $5,000 at 18% interest. They don't have that kind of money. They're on fixed income. They're going to destroy their credit for him. That's their choice, I said. But it felt hollow. My brother showed up at my apartment building on Tuesday. The doorman called up and I told him not to let anyone up. My brother waited in the lobby for 2 hours. The doorman finally told him to leave or he'd call the police. He left a note with the front desk. I threw it away without reading it. Yesterday my coworker who filmed my brother confronting me in the parking lot told me he's been asking around about where I live now. He's been calling the office trying to get my new address. HR had to send him a formal cease and desist letter. My boss pulled me aside and asked if I needed security to walk me to my car. That's how bad it's gotten. I filed for a restraining order this morning. The hearing is in 2 weeks. My phone hasn't stopped. Unknown numbers, new social media accounts, messages from relatives I haven't spoken to in years. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone thinks they know what I should do. But none of them paid that mortgage. None of them spent 6 years building something just to watch their family try to take it. My brother's GoFundMe is still at $340. Someone left a comment asking why they need money if they own a house outright. No one has answered. The house I renovated is falling apart already. The grass is dead. The paint is chipping. My brother can't afford basic maintenance. He got exactly what he wanted and it's destroying him. And I'm supposed to feel guilty about that. The restraining order got approved. The judge looked at the security footage from my office, read the harassment documentation from HR, and signed it without hesitation. My brother has to stay 500 feet away from me, my home, and my workplace for the next year. He sat in that courtroom looking like a kicked dog while his lawyer tried to argue I was being dramatic. The judge wasn't having it. She said showing up at someone's workplace repeatedly after being told to stop isn't a gray area. It's harassment. My brother walked out without looking at me. His wife was waiting in the hallway. I heard her ask what happened and he just said, "Let's go." That was 6 weeks ago. The house went into foreclosure last month. My brother missed 4 consecutive property tax payments and the county filed a lien. He couldn't refinance because his credit score dropped below 600. No bank would touch him. My parents' loan money ran out. The utilities got shut off twice. Code enforcement got called again, this time legitimately, because the yard was waist-high weeds and there were complaints about the smell. Turns out when you can't afford to run a refrigerator consistently, food goes bad. Neighbors reported it. My reasonable aunt called to tell me. She sounded exhausted. She said my brother tried to sell the house but no one wants to buy a property with a massive tax lien and no appliances. The couple of lowball offers he got wouldn't even cover what he owed. He's going to lose everything and still owe money. He's talking about bankruptcy, she said. I didn't feel good hearing that. I didn't feel bad either. I just felt tired. My parents had to move out last week. They're staying with my brother now in his apartment. 3 adults and 2 kids in a 2-bedroom place. My mom's sister told me my dad's health is declining from the stress. He's on medication for high blood pressure now. Part of me wanted to feel sorry for them. The bigger part remembered my mom mailing back my birthday cards. My brother tried to contact me through a mutual friend. He wanted to know if I'd be willing to drop the restraining order so he could apologize properly. The friend said he's desperate, broke, and his wife is threatening to leave him because the financial stress is destroying their marriage. I said no. The friend pushed back. He's your brother. Don't you think this has gone far enough? He tried to steal my house. How far should I have let that go? They haven't called since. The foreclosure auction happened 2 days ago. I didn't go but I checked the county records online. The house sold for barely more than what was owed in back taxes and liens. My brother got nothing. 6 months of property ownership and he's walking away worse than when he started. I drove by yesterday. I don't know why. Maybe I needed to see it with my own eyes. There was a sold sign in the yard. The new owners had already started cleaning up. Someone was mowing the lawn. The windows were open. It looked like a house again instead of the abandoned shell my brother turned it into. I sat in my car for a while just looking at it. That was supposed to be mine. I picked out the paint colors. I installed those light fixtures. I planted the tree in the front yard that's somehow still alive despite everything. And now it belongs to strangers who'll never know what it cost. My phone buzzed. Another unknown number. I almost didn't answer but something made me pick up. It was my brother's wife. She was crying so hard I could barely understand her. He's not eating. He's not sleeping. He just sits there. The kids keep asking what's wrong with daddy and I don't know what to tell them. That's not my problem. You got what you wanted. He lost the house. He lost everything. Are you happy now? I thought about that. Was I happy? No. I wasn't happy. I wasn't anything. I was just done. I didn't want any of this. I wanted my family to not steal from me. That's all I wanted. She hung up. I haven't heard from them since. The family group chat got deleted. I don't know who did it. Maybe everyone just left. My aunt texts me sometimes to check in but we don't talk about them. It's like that whole side of the family just evaporated. I'm not in contact with my parents. I don't plan to be. My mom's sister says they're struggling financially now because of the loan they took out. They're trying to pay it back but it's eating their fixed income. She asked if I'd consider helping them. I said no. She didn't argue. She just said she understood and that she's sorry for how everything turned out. She's the only family member who's apologized. The only one who admitted this whole situation was insane from the start. I moved to a new apartment last month. Better security. Doorman who actually checks IDs. I didn't tell anyone the address except my lawyer and my boss. I'm not taking chances. Work has been weird. People know something happened but no one asks directly. My boss told me to take time off if I needed it but I'd rather stay busy. Going home to an empty apartment just makes me think about everything I lost. Not the house. Not the money. My family. I keep replaying that day in the kitchen when my dad told me they were signing the house over to my brother. The way he said it so casually like he was asking me to pass the salt. The way my mom couldn't look at me. The way my brother walked in with those papers like it was already decided. They really thought I'd just accept it. They thought I'd roll over and let them take everything I worked for because family. I've been seeing a therapist. She says what they did was financial abuse. That the threatening and manipulation and gaslighting were all textbook. She says I did the right thing by protecting myself. Some days I believe her. Some days I wonder if I should have just given them the house. Let them have it. Walked away and rebuilt somewhere else without burning every bridge. But then I remember my brother's face when he told me to hand over the keys. The smugness. The entitlement. Like I owed him my life's work because he had kids and I didn't. No. I don't regret what I did. I regret that it had to happen at all. The house is gone. My family is gone. I'm starting over at 32 with nothing but a restraining order and a therapy bill. But at least I'm starting over on my own terms. No one can take that from me. They already took everything else.